Hey yo, what's going on guys? Here at the FedEx facility. Nice and bright and sunny this morning. The security guard is usually here, but he's missing right now. So I don't know, we may have to just go back there and pick up our own packages, but we'll see. Usually the packages are right there. We gotta check in with the guard that sits right there, but we're gonna wait for him. What does that say? I don't usually go full out rough country, but since it is such a small kit, I don't mind rough country for the price. What do you think of a rough country lift?
Rough country is pretty good. I wouldn't run it on no rock crawler or anything, but like the daily.
All right, so we just made it back to the house. Let's go ahead and crack it open, see what it consists of. Okay. So that's about everything right there that's included in this lift kit. It's 2 inches exactly. And it's pretty simple reading the instructions. So pretty much we just got to lift up the front end, right?
Yeah, lift it up, unscrew the sway bar links, and then we'll go from there.
Alright, so we got the Jeep lifted up, just the front end for now. We're going to start with the front end. The main focus of today is install this 2-inch rough country lift kit and just do a full review of it, of what we think, how it drives, and how much of a difference it makes in comparison to the stock suspension. You want to lift it up, set it up on jack stands by the frame. So the way we lifted it up was using these 2 blocks, wooden blocks, and we lifted it up by the front bumper here, which you got to be real careful not to bend anything. Make sure you don't get hung up on anything. So lift it up here, and then you set your jack stands on the frame rails so your wheels are slightly suspended in the air, and then you can remove your wheels. Alright, so after you got your wheels off, you want to go ahead and remove this sway bar link, so you disconnect it from the axle itself. Alright, so we removed the sway bar links on both ends, and the next step would be to remove your coil clip if you do have one. Since we do not have one, we're going to skip on to the next step. We actually should have went ahead and took these shocks off first, but yeah, it's not that big of a deal. You just got to unscrew it from here. There is a hole from the top on the other end, but on this end you just got to use a regular ratchet wrench, and that shock should just pop right off.
Let's see if we can get it from here.
A ratchet wrench comes in handy for this situation here.
I'm glad we sprayed PB Blaster last week.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, remember?
Awesome. That's why. Yeah, guys, so that's a tip. If you are planning on getting this lift kit or any kind of lift kit, spray your bolts down a week prior to your installation, and that'll just make it a breeze when you're unbolting anything that is even slightly rusted. Alright, so let's see how bad the shock was. There was no, like,
that thing went down right away.
One more time. Now, on to the other side.
I think we would be reusing these, so keep them.
Yeah, we might.
The bottom ones. Alright guys, so next thing we're going to do is remove the coil spring. So it might be a little tricky. Just push down on that axle and get it out.
This side should be a little bit easier because
it's leaning this way.
And the track bar's not holding it back. So let's
keep,
try the other side now.
Might need to put place a jack underneath.
The other side?
Yeah.
Or I could try to step on it. So it doesn't say this in the instructions, but you do got to unbolt this to slip on the new spacer and remove this old isolator.
Yeah, but we're gonna reuse that isolator, so pull that down.
There is a certain way you want to put this on. The big hole goes up like that. Then your isolator goes back on, and then you can go ahead and put this piece back on, and then you can put your bump stop back on. May need a little bit of grease. Alright guys, so we put everything on. We got the spacer, the isolator, and the bump stop. Now we're gonna put on the spring.
Might need some help now it's lifted.
Oh, yeah. Push this side in. You gotta kind of put some weight on it right here. I was stepping on it while he was just pushing it in, and it went in pretty easy. So for this side, it should be a little bit easier, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop this jack. Alright guys, same thing over here on this side. We're gonna put in the spacer, the isolator, and the bump stop.
Let's get to it. Keep going as high as you can.
Finally slipped on. That was a little bit tough. But we got both of the springs on, the spacers. Now we just need to put on these struts on the front.
So we're gonna just put these absorbers on the front struts. First that goes on, then one of these suckers go in there. And that goes in just like that. We're gonna bolt down the bottom, raise the axle up. We're gonna get it up in the shock tower. And then we're gonna put this one on the top like this, and another one of these. And that should be exactly how it goes right there, then your nut. Look, we got grease right here, so I'm gonna use it to my advantage.
And you do got to use the original lower shock bolts.
Yeah.
Because the kit does not provide them.
So make sure you keep them.
Now onto the other side. We are just going to tighten the bottom.
They ship it to you like this sideways, these little brackets. So just get you some pliers, some channel locks, and just straighten it out. So next we're going to reinstall this sway bar.
Alright, so we got both of the sway bars connected and tightened down. We're going to go ahead and start installing the top of these struts. There is a little metal wire that's keeping it compressed. After we cut that, it should go right into our shock tower.
Just like that.
Plain and simple, yep.
Then you use your new bushings that it came with. Just like that. And a new nut.
Alright, so that's it for the front end. Now we just need to throw in the wheels and tires and then we can lower it.
A lot of people are asking about the Rubicon wheels, the older ones that came off of the Rubicon. We're about to see if they'll fit. We're checking fitment for all the way around, how it turns and everything. So we'll check for you guys, see if they'll go on there.
Yeah, because these are 31s and the Rubicon wheels and tires are 33s. This kit does call for 31s, exactly what we got, but maybe they're just being generous. So.
Maybe that's just
the
safety. Legal. That's
yeah.
the legal.
I guess that's just for their safety, I guess. But we're gonna test out some 33s just for you guys. Alright, so there you have it, guys, for the front end, but the front end's just a little bit higher, so
yeah,
now
it's squatting.
Yeah, squatted. This is not no truck rise here, so we're not gonna have it squatted like that. So let's get onto this rear end now. Since we do have this hitch receiver in the rear, we went ahead and lifted it up by that, just like that, with that jack and them 2 blocks, and we set it up on jack stands. First thing we're gonna do is remove these struts. Getting at the top of this shock strut, those are the most sketchiest bolts, I will admit. They tend to break most of the time, but since we PB blasted it about a week ago, I'm pretty confident that they will come out.
If you break them, they're a pain in the butt to drill out and all that
hard
good
to
stuff.
Get to. Not too bad.
But that is the original
Chrysler OEM.
Yeah, that's the original strut from this Jeep when it came out of the factory. Look at that. This Chrysler right there.
There's from that side.
Next step is the sway bars. You're gonna need to unscrew it right there.
And the instruction does say to be careful for the vent tube, but it seems like that we got plenty of play in our vent tube here, so we're not worried about that. Alright, so this side popped out. It's pretty easy. That side over there is for some reason not allowing us to drop it down. We think it may be this track bar, so we're going to try to loosen that up, see if that does anything.
But first we're going to install this.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do this side.
This isolator. Let's not forget that.
Do not forget that little isolator. The track bar is stopping it over there. You see it's rubbing up against the top of the where it's housed. So we need to unscrew this whole one side here. So we just popped out this track bar bolt. Now we're going to lower the axle, see if it made a difference. In the instructions it does say you will need a coil spring compressor, but I don't think that'll be necessary. So let's go ahead and install that spacer and put all this stuff back on.
Your isolator, your spacer, is push it straight through like that and just screw it in.
Bump stop right back in, and then the spring. See how tough it's going to be. Not tough at all. Easier than the front.
Yep.
Go on to the other side, pop that spring in. Now, I'm going to pop this track bar back in. That's probably the hardest thing right there, putting that on. But it's still easy.
They should have included that in the instructions.
Right. Alright, so the kit that we ordered also included this little bracket, and that's if you're using your factory shocks. So we're not going to need that. We're just going to go ahead and install the new shocks just into the original brackets.
Right when we snip it, these struts just start extending. So as soon as I snip it, you got to be right on it.
It's all on me right now.
That's it. Now time for the other side.
Alright, so we got the shocks on. Next thing we did was tighten up the sway bar links, and now it's time for the wheels. Oh yeah, this is pretty tall. I love it, I love it. How long do you think that took us about?
Probably an hour,
Hour and a half.
hour and a half,
Up
something
to
like
2
that.
hours. So it's very easy and simple lift. That's included with us filming and setting up the cameras and stuff.
Yeah, and we don't have a lift. We're doing it in the driveway.
So we're gonna clean it up and then we're gonna test it out on the road. How is it? Smooth? Very smooth, a lot smoother than the OEM stock suspension, man. I'm very excited for this lift and I'm ready to trail it. It's sitting pretty nice at a good height, great drivability. It handles great on and off road. So we're gonna actually test out some 33s and see if that's possible with just a 2-inch lift. Hopefully it works. Would be nice. They might just work. 10. Up. Hitting the sway bar. Yeah, let's throw on the rear tires and see what it does. All right, guys, there you have it. We're gonna test it out, drive it down the street. I think it looks a lot better. An absolutely awesome day, an awesome transformation on this Jeep. We didn't even imagine this, so guys, it kind of happened out of the blue, and man, it turned out great. What I would rate this rough country lift at, probably a 10 out of 10 on the price. On the handling, the comfort, I'd probably say about 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10, somewhere in there, depending on which lift kit you go with. So with this kit, man, the Jeep still drives better than stock, a lot better than stock. Handles great on and off road. So we didn't have to do any relocation on the bracket of the track bar or anything like that. We just threw the pucks on and that's it for a 2-inch lift kit, man. It's awesome, it works great. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Goon Squad to get the inside scoop of something before YouTube. If you like sneak peeks, be sure to follow me on Instagram. Also, guys, be sure to check out goonsquad.com. We got tons of different types of merch on the website, so be sure to check out goonsquad.com and copy something and support your boys. Thanks for everybody who already supports us, all my subscribers, and all the Patreons, guys. We greatly appreciate it. We could not do it without you. And if you are looking to support me, also check out the links down below. Visit the Patreon and help support the channel to create better content. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.